Well, Andrew Moulton, he was the Southeastern Conference Freshman of the Year last year. He leads this team in scoring, and he's one of those young perimeter players that we mentioned. He'll put it up, he's not afraid to, and he can score.
Moulton teams with Darrell Gresham to form a potent backcourt combination for the Gators, and Joe Dean asked Kentucky coach Joe B. Hall how to negate Florida's quickness in the backcourt.
I'm not sure that you can, Joel. The thing that you would like to do would be to take them man-to-man and pressure them out of their offense, because their offense is very patterned, and a lot of picks, a lot of tough things to handle in their offense. They have good inside-outside balance, which gives you a lot of trouble. And a good, tough man-to-man forcing them out of that would be good. If not, you got to go to the zone.
Joe Hall's team began the season 1-4, their worst start since the 20s. Now all alone in first place in the SEC. How have they turned it around?
Well, they're not doing it with shooting because their field goal percentage is last in the Southeastern Conference. They're not a good shooting team, but they're doing it with defense. They'll change defenses a lot. Their man pressure is good. You'll see a lot of different zone defenses, and they've been most effective. But they've become very dependent upon one player.
That one player is, of course, All-American candidate Kenny Skywalker. What a year he's having.
Unbelievable. He leads this team in 5 categories. He leads the Southeastern Conference, not just this team, in rebounding and in scoring. And, boy, they really go to this guy, and he can do it.
Well, of course, Kenny Walker may be playing better than any forward in the United States in the college ranks at the moment. And so we asked Florida coach Norm Sloan how to stop Kenny Walker.
Well, my coaching experience has been that I've never had much success at that. When I've tried to concoct some special defense for a special player, he went ahead and got his 25 or 30, because that's the kind of points and kind of numbers you're talking about when you want to stop some individual. And then somebody else breaks loose and gets double what they normally are supposed to get. It has never worked for me. So we're just going to work as hard as we can to keep Kenny from getting the ball, make him earn all of his points. He's going to get them. Kenny Walker has developed into one of the finest offensive players in college basketball this year. And I don't think that we or anybody else is going to go out with a special defense, some kind of a gimmick defense, and shut him down. We're just going to work hard on him, work hard on the other guys, and hope we play well.
Florida has never won a game at Rupp Arena, but last year they took Kentucky's Final Four team to 2 points here. It's the Florida Gators against the Kentucky Wildcats, live from Rupp Arena. We'll be back with the introduction of the starting lineups in just a moment.
There's something you should know about Diet Colas.
Those with 100% NutraSweet, step forward.
All of Pepsi's Diet Colas contain 100% NutraSweet, no saccharin.
Those with saccharin, step forward.
Whereas most sizes of Coca-Cola's diet soft drinks
Move your cans.
contain almost twice as much saccharin as they do NutraSweet. So if you want 100% NutraSweet, buy Diet Pepsi Free, and Pepsi Light.
All 100% NutraSweet, 100% taste.
For Ed Ryan, who was confused by all the new unleaded gasoline claims, there's Gulf Super Unleaded. Now is always the gas with guts, one of the highest octane gasolines you can buy. For Morton Mitchell, who demands the right gas, but at the right price, Gulf self-service makes more sense for less sense.
Gulf, everything we do makes driving better for you. Bluegrass has it, positively has it. Bluegrass has it today.
Get a $2,000 discount on any brand new 1985 Cougar in stock. Imagine yourself in a luxurious Cougar with air conditioning, automatic transmission, power steering, brake, seats, door locks, and windows. Come to Bluegrass Lincoln Mercury for a $2,000 discount on any brand new 1985 Cougar in stock. Bluegrass Lincoln Mercury, 4301 Shelbyville Road.
I added up a lot of factors when I chose a financial institution, but the key factor was security, and that's why I picked Great Financial Federal. Yes, they had the services I needed, and they offered many ways to save at very attractive rates. But mainly, they offered that essential ingredient of confidence. It's really hard to come by and harder still to measure. Security. That's the key.
Great Financial Federal, your key to financial security.
The Florida Gators, a record of 10-3, 3-2 in the Southeastern Conference against the Kentucky Wildcats, 9-5 overall, in first place, 4-1 in Southeastern Conference play. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for this afternoon's game. First for the Gators of Florida. Starting at a forward spot, Randall Leaf, a 6'9 senior from Gainesville, Florida, averaging 4 points and 4 rebounds a game. Vernon Maxwell, 6'2", a freshman from Gainesville, averages 14 points and 2 rebounds a game. Eugene McDowell, 6'8", a senior, Cross City, Florida, 14 points, 10 rebounds a game. Daryl Gresham at guard, 6'3", sophomore, Decatur, Georgia, averages 13 a game. And Andrew Moten, the Gators' leading scorer, 6-foot sophomore from Quincy, Florida, averaging 16 points a game. Now for the Kentucky Wildcats this afternoon. Starting at a forward spot, Kenny Walker, 6'8", junior, Roberta, Georgia, averaging 22 points and 10 rebounds a game. Winston Bennett at forward, 6'6", a sophomore from Louisville, Kentucky, averaging 7 points and 5 rebounds a game. At center, Brett Barrett, 6'9", a senior, Centerport, New York, 5 points, 5 rebounds a game. Roger Harden, 6'1", junior, Valparaiso, Indiana, averages 6 points a game. And the other guard, James Blackman, 6'2", a sophomore from Marion, Indiana, averaging 8 points a game. The two coaches this afternoon, 2 winners of the national championship during their careers, Norm Sloan of Florida and Joe V. Hall of Kentucky. The Gators against the Wildcats, live from Rupp Arena in Lexington. We'll have the opening tip-off in just a moment.
Working hard doesn't have to mean perspiration odor. Give it all you've got. Right Guard Spray can help keep you smelling good for up to 24 hours. That's protection.
I want to see you.
Today, a man needs every advantage. Introducing the Insignia grooming line, the unfair advantage.
It's JB1. I know.
From 9 to 5, Insignia works as hard as you do.
Go for it.
And Insignia is united by one subtle scent. Give yourself the unfair advantage.
Meet the new department head.
New Insignia, the unfair advantage.
Tom Hammond and Joe Dean live from Rupp Arena in Lexington, Kentucky. The Gators against the Wildcats. Let's take a look at the officials for today's game. Wally Tanner on the left, Dale Kelly in the center, and Herman Ramsey on the right. 3 officials to call this SEC game. Kentucky, record of 9-5, 4-1 in first place in the conference. Florida with a record of 10-3, 3-2 in the SEC. The matchup, Leaf, Maxwell, McDowell, Gresham, and Moten, really a 3-guard starting lineup for Florida. Walker, Bennett, Barrett, Harden, and Blackman for the homestanding Wildcats of Kentucky. Kentucky with a whopping lead in this series. They've won 50, lost only 12. The two teams split last season, with Kentucky winning by only 2, 67-65 here in Lexington. Kentucky in the home white uniforms trimmed in blue. Florida in the road orange uniforms trimmed in blue and white. Kenny Walker, Eugene McDowell will jump to get the game underway. McDowell really anxious to get out of the starting gate as Dale Kelly gets ready to toss it up. Toss, tap, controlled by Florida. Either player really controlled the tap, but Florida picked it up. What about the defense for Kentucky?
Well, we mentioned they changed it a lot, but they've opened up just in a man-to-man defense, and Harden is guarding Andrew Moten, who leads the Gators in scoring. It's a motion offense that they run, the Gators, and they give you a lot of problems because they do a lot of picking.
Gresham missed them down in close, and Kenny Walker grabs the rebound for the Wildcats. Here's Kentucky setting it up now, looking for the first score of the game. What about the Florida defense?
They're also man-to-man defensively, and Randall Leaf is matched up against Kenny Skywalker of Kentucky.
Walker has scored over 20 points in 6 of his last 7 games. Had his string of 6 in a row broken here, and the Wildcats' narrow win over Mississippi State when he had 15 last Wednesday. Harden misses from outside, Leaf with a rebound, quickly to Moten in front court, slipped it behind his back, Gresham knocked away from him, Bennett got a hand on it, knocked it out of bounds, it'll go back to Florida. Tenacious defense for Kentucky.
They really get after you. Coach Hall told me before the game, we've not been shooting well, but we will get after you defensively. They'll change defenses a lot. We'll mention that as we go along. Maxwell, number 11, is just a freshman, and they think he's going to be really a great one in Gator country.
McDowell pitches in the corner to Moten, comes out to Gresham, misses Leaf. Shot up and on its way by Maxwell, won't go. Rebound, Barrett of Kentucky. Here's Harden on the dribble for the Wildcats. Lead pass, Bennett to the hoop, no good. Walker with a rebound, his follow, good.
Offensive board work. Kenny Walker. Great pass from Harden to Winston Bennett. It wouldn't go, but Walker stayed in it, kept it alive.
And on the other end, quickly, Vernon Maxwell with a dipsy-doodle shot to tie it up at 2. Maxwell gets Florida's first basket of the game.
The Gators look like they're really going to push the ball quickly up the court. If Kentucky doesn't get back defensively, they'll shoot the easy baskets, and that's exactly what happened there. That's the freshman we mentioned to you, Vernon Maxwell.
Blackman to Walker, gives it back to Blackman. Blackman tries to drive baseline, our first foul of the game. It's going to be called on Florida's Vernon Maxwell.
Nothing fancy. Blackman tried to go one-on-one. Fake to the middle, came back to the baseline. Didn't have it, but defense tried to cut him off, but they definitely fouled him. He used his hands and pushed against him.
Ball comes inbounds to Kentucky. Get a fresh 45 seconds on the shot clock. Barrett flashes to Bennett, back out front Harden. This time on the inbound plays, Florida in a zone defense. Blackman. Rebound knocked down. Walker scrambling for it. Blackman picks it up. So Kentucky gets another chance as Walker got a hand on it off the offensive board. Blackman can't hit. This time the rebound controlled by Randall Leaf of Florida.
You see the problems Kentucky has from the field. They just can't get it to go down from the outer perimeter. Florida will zone all inbound passes under the Kentucky basket. They normally have been in a man defense that we mentioned.
Here's the first Kentucky foul, and it's called on Kenny Walker. Walker holding inside. Team fouls all even at 1 apiece. We've been mentioning Kentucky shooting, only hitting 44.2% as a team from the field. Florida, on the other hand, 49.3. Kentucky much better at the foul line, however. The Wildcats at 74%, 65 for Florida. That was Andrew Moten.
The Gators worked very effectively against the Kentucky zone that time because Kentucky also zoned that inbound pass by Florida, but they got the great shot out of the corner.
Gators with their first lead. We played almost 3 minutes in Lexington. This is going to be a Kentucky foul. Setting an illegal pick was Kenny Walker, and Walker has quickly picked up 2 personal fouls after only 3 minutes to play. And you know how heavily Kentucky depends on Walker. That is a serious blow.
Unbelievable, really, because he picked up one defensively at the other end, comes right back. They felt like he moved his pick right there. Stepped into the player Gresham, who was trying to get through. Remember, Florida offensively is playing with 3 guards and then 2 big men in Eugene McDowell and Randall Lee. It does create some problems for you defensively.
You saw Walker on the Kentucky bench. Here's a traveling call against Florida. That'll turn it over to Kentucky. Walker on the bench replaced by Troy McKinley, 6'5", a senior from Independence, Kentucky, averaging 3 points a game. He has been the zone buster for the Wildcats this year, the outside shooter. Very rarely gets into a game when man-to-man defenses are employed, but in there now with Walker picking up 2 quick early fouls. Kentucky looking to tie the game at 4 with a bucket here. Lob into Barrett. Doesn't shoot often. Goes up and draws the foul. It's going to be called on Eugene McDowell of Florida.
Barrett, the big guy, is developed some confidence in himself. Coach Joe Hall has said to him, "You're my center. I'm going to go with you. Get in there and do the job." And he keeps getting better every game. You mentioned, Tom, he doesn't score a lot, just a little over 5 points a game, but he's boarding well and he's playing excellent defense, particularly inside that paint area.
Here's Harden open for the jumper. No good. Rebound McDowell of Florida. McDowell averaging 10 rebounds a game. Second in the Southeastern Conference, trailing only Kenny Walker.
Blackman is 0 for 2 from the field. Harden is 0 for 2 from the field. That's the guards for Kentucky.
Maxwell. Short, no good. Tapped away by Gresham. And his shot blocked out of bounds by Blackman.
Gresham made a great offensive board. Looked like he was going to come back with it, but Blackman got him from the rear.
Inbounds to McDowell. Moten, they got a pick for him. He hits from the baseline.
They're not afraid to put it up from out there. Gresham, Maxwell, Moten, they'll put it up.
6-2, Florida with its longest lead. Wildcats still facing a man-to-man. Harden, nice fake, 15-footer, good.
A little spring music in Lexington, KY for Harden. Looked like the defense came at him, but he handled it very well.
Florida's lead trimmed to 2. Gators with the basketball. McDowell comes out of long range to get it. As Joe mentioned, McDowell, the leading assist man on this team. Randall Leaf, nice move for Leaf. Only averages 4 a game, but showed us a nice offensive move there.
They got the ball in so low, Kentucky got caught in a switch situation. They couldn't front him, and he just turned around and put it in. He's an excellent percentage shooter because, as you mentioned, Tom, everything he shoots is real close.
In fact, he's shooting 68% from the field, Randall Lee. Harden dishes off to Blackman. Kentucky with the ball down 4. We played 5 minutes. Harden looking for Bennett posting up inside. Instead, give it to Barrett. 17-footer, no good. And a rebounding foul, a pushing foul. It looks like it's going to be called on Winston Bennett of Kentucky. Bennett has his first. That's the third whistled against the Wildcats.
Kentucky, remember now, playing without Kenny Walker.
So we've got a timeout here. 14:53 to play in the first half, and Florida has the lead. It's Florida 8, Kentucky 4. We'll be back to Rupp Arena in just a moment.
When you first see the Mazda RX-7, you begin to understand why it has become a legend among today's sports cars. Because beyond its classic styling, you soon discover the sheer perfection of its bucket seats. You experience its comprehensive instrumentation and feel the preciseness of its 5-speed. These things alone help make it an exceptional value. But to gain an even deeper understanding of the RX-7, you're going to have to experience roads like these for yourself. Mazda RX-7. Experience it.
We play a great game, so for the best sports here, we'll buy the beer. Oh, oh. If you're angry for a boat, take beer to wait. The Bull's got more. Taste the beer. It's bold and smooth. Sip on liquor roll. You're on the ball. The Bull's got it all. So don't say beer's bad ball. Let's rack up another bull. No one does it like a bull.
From Rupp Arena, here's the way the two teams have been playing so far this season. Florida, the much higher scoring team, but allowing more points as well. Much better shooting team from the field, but worse at the free throw line. And in rebounding, Florida with an edge there of 40-33. That's the way the seasons have gone for these two teams. Kentucky 4-1 in the conference, and Florida 3-2. Florida Gators with the basketball holding an 8-4 lead on Kentucky. They've never won a game at Rupp Arena. Have won only 2 times in Lexington in their history. McDowell misses the jump shot. Rebound comes off to Gresham. His follow off the board, no good. Barrett in heavy traffic claims it for Kentucky. McKinley holds up, gives to Harden. Harden with a drive. Back out to Barrett. A little bit out of his range. Harden looking for Bennett posting up in the lane. 4 Gators around him. They knock it loose. Gresham in against Harden. Blocked away, and a goaltending call as Barrett is called for goaltending. Credited to Darrell Gresham off the break.
But give credit to the Florida Gator defense. When they took it inside to Bennett, the scouting report is he wants to do something with it each time that he gets it. He tried to make a move, but he had 4 Gators in those orange jerseys. They swarmed him, they took it away, and they got a layup at the other end with a goaltending call against Barrett.
What about the call, Joe? Did you think it was on its way down?
It was awfully close.
Looks like it might still been on the way up. Here's a foul called on Florida. It's on Darrell Gresham. Gresham with his first, and that's 3 now against the Gators this half.
It's always a tough call there, Tom, because the ball is so close to the basket as to determine is it on its way up or has it reached that peak. It definitely wasn't in the cone, no question about that, but it was an awfully close call, and I think could have gone either way.
That's the first free throw of the game. Winston Bennett hits it. Kentucky only hitting 2 of 7 from the field, 28% in the first half. Florida over 50%. They're 5 of 9.
I might mention that it's snowing outside, but there's over 23,000 here in Rupp Arena. They do love it in this part of the world.
Kentucky has won 35 Southeastern Conference championships over the years. A record 29 NCAA tournament appearances for the Wildcats. And, of course, they won 5 national championships. Went to the Final Four last year with the Twin Towers, Bowie, and Purple. Moten open for the shot. He got it. Andrew Moten has pitched in 6 here in the first half. And the Gators have a 7-point lead. Their longest.
Those 3 guards are just playing a 3-man game. They keep moving it. They get penetration. They'll kick it out to the others. And they've been hitting, particularly Moten. And they haven't used McDowell that much yet.
McDowell hasn't scored, as a matter of fact, as the Gator guards have outscored Kentucky 8-2 in the backcourt. Bennett Shot it in over Randall Leaf. Winston Bennett has 3 to lead Kentucky in scoring, and the Wildcats close within 5.
Randall Leaf had good defensive position, but as you mentioned, he just jumped above him and stuck it in.
Moulton's been hot, missed that one. Rebound Bennett. Outlet pass to Harden, comes behind the back and quickly into front court. Harden still on the move. Jump hook, no good. Blackman tried to follow one there. Troy McKinley does get it.
Good transition basket by Kentucky. Great offensive board work. They made it happen. Harden took it all the way to the defense. Defense didn't take him. He missed an off-the-board shot right there. But there comes Bennett. He keeps it alive and makes it happen. And here's Troy McKinley. He's going to put it back in. McKinley has the good touch. Florida's in a man-to-man defense, though, and it's making it difficult for McKinley to get the real good shot from the perimeter because he's strictly a zone buster, as we mentioned, and he's just now gone out of the game.
McKinley has gone out of the game, replaced by Richard Madison, as you look at Pat Lawrence of Florida. Madison for Kentucky, 42 and white, 6'6" freshman from Memphis, Tennessee. And he's called for the personal foul right there. Madison averaging 5 points and 3 rebounds in his first year for the Wildcats. Watch it again.
Gators took it inside, and you see why McDowell leads them in a fifth. Never looked to really shoot that much. He was trying to kick it off to Francisco Leon, who just came into the game. He's from the Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rican native, Leon, 6'10", a senior, averaging 5 points and 5 rebounds a game, back in the lineup after a knee injury. There's a foul as Bennett rebounds. It's going to be called on Florida. As we told you, Florida also with Pat Lawrence in the game.
The lineup changes. Both teams jockeying to get maybe a mismatch. Gators gone away now from their three-guard offense, and they've gone to a bigger lineup with Pat Lawrence in the game. He's 6'6".
And a freshman from Crestview, the brother of another Gator player, Joe Lawrence. And Pat Lawrence just picked up that personal foul.
Gators have gone to a zone defense. They're going to see if Kentucky can hit from the outside.
Madison can't. The rebound to Lawrence. Outlet pass to Moulton. Here's Moulton wasting no time, bringing the ball into offensive striking territory. Maxwell got a step on Blackman, hit it. Vernon Maxwell has 4. The Gator lead back at 5, 14-9 Florida. Blackman on a wing. Florida Gators in a 2-3 zone, Joe.
2-3 zone, but they're getting excellent movement at this point. They're covering the wings very, very well. And Kentucky is going to have to get it inside the middle if they're going to make anything happen.
And we'll take a timeout with 11:44 to play in the first half. Timeout at Rupp Arena with a score, Florida 14, Kentucky 9.
First place in the blue ribbon to number 9, Thunder.
We did it!
The red man reaction. Satisfaction.
With both of you working, you should be getting ahead. And when you start off with the savings power of financial energy, you'll stay ahead. With both of you working, again, the financial energy of First National can help you enjoy all the things you want in life, including a comfortable retirement. The financial energy of First National Bank. Put it to work for you.
At the conclusion of today's game, we'll be selecting a golf most valuable player from each team. In addition to recognizing our 2 MVPs, Gulf Oil and its dealers will donate a $500 scholarship to the General Scholarship Fund of both Florida and Kentucky as part of the Gulf MVP Scholarship Program. Kentucky puts the ball in play, trailing 14-9 and still having trouble hitting from the outside. 4 of 11, 36%. Florida 7 of 15, 46.7%.
Kentucky doing a good job in rebounding, but really struggling to hit that outside shot.
Madison couldn't hit it, then knocked it out of bounds. It'll go to Florida.
Kentucky's turned it over 3 times so far in the game. The Florida Gators just once. Kentucky now, they're falling back into a zone defense. Both teams opened up man. Both teams have changed their defense some. Kentucky's also in a 2-3.
Troy McKinley back into the game for the Wildcats. And Florida has Danny Sheldon in the game for the first time. He's a 6'2" senior from West Palm Beach. There's his shot. No good. He's averaging 3 a game. Barrett with a rebound for Kentucky. Remember, Kentucky playing without Kenny Walker, who picked up 2 quick early fouls. Winston Bennett trying to take up the slack with a power move inside. Bennett has 5 of Kentucky's 11 points. It's the Gators by 3.
secret there was they got the ball down very quickly, Hardin did, before the Gators could get their defense set.
Moulton penetrates, can't hit the shot. Madison rebounds, then throws it away. Sheldon gives it up to Moulton. Spinning move against Madison, draws the foul. Richard Madison with his second personal foul. That's 5 now against Kentucky.
Just a spinning move. He just went one-on-one, playing with a lot of confidence. We mentioned he was the player of the year as a freshman. Just Southeastern Conference freshman player of the year, I should say. And last year maybe up and down at times, but really knows that he can do it now.
His first free throw attempted by Florida. Moulton can't hit it.
You mentioned Florida's a poor free throw shooting team, Tom, just 65.4%.
Moulton, the SEC Freshman of the Year last year, was second among freshmen in scoring in the conference, and his backcourt running mate, Darrell Gresham, was the leading freshman scorer in SEC play last year. 15-11. Moulton now with 7 points in the game.
As Florida went to that zone defense, so they put McKinley in to do that, but he couldn't get it to go.
He was short on the shot, and Sheldon collars the rebound for the Gators. Kentucky falls back in at 2-3. Hardin got a hand on it, knocks it to Madison, ping-pong over to Gresham, goes inside to McDowell, and as he makes his move, it hits the underneath of the backboard, and McDowell will go to the free throw line. I think Winston Bennett's going to be whistled for the personal. Let's see if we can pick it up.
Hardin got a piece of that ball, and Kentucky almost had a steal. But Gresham quickly picked it up and kicked it inside to Eugene the Duncan Machine McDowell. That's what he was going to do, but he was fouled just as he put it up.
McDowell has not scored. Remember, he's averaging 14 a game. High arching shot is good. He is number 11 in the Southeastern Conference in scoring and number 4 in field goal percentage, but not a good free throw shooter, and missed everything on that one.
In fact, Tom, he's only shooting 47% from the line for the year, and right there, you could see why. Would you believe he's almost 60% from the field on the season? Of course, most of those are in close, and he shoots an awful lot of jams. He'll just stuff them home in close.
He's the leading returning rebounder from last year in the Southeastern Conference, and as we noted earlier, second only to Walker this year. Bennett, spinning move, no good. Rebound by McDowell. Spots Moulton. Moulton in front court, still on the dribble. Gives it up to Gresham. Says, let's set it up. Florida with the basketball, leading by 5 points with 9:45 to play in the first half in Lexington. Gators looking for their first ever win in Rupp Arena. Leone on a high post. They can't get the ball to him. Sheldon's open from outside, and he hits it. They left Danny Sheldon open, and he capitalized.
He's a young man who came out of a junior college in Florida, and just good attitude. He's hung in, and all of a sudden, he's getting to play a lot for Norm Sloan's Gators. He turns it over very rarely and is an excellent outside shooter.
Florida has equaled its longest lead. 17-footer from Barrett is good. That's a rare outside shot from Barrett. His first 2.
The Gators have excellent perimeter shooting, as we mentioned. I think if they'll be patient against the Kentucky zone and look for the real good percentage shot, in other words, good shot selection, they'll have a lot of success.
Sheldon, they're looking for Leone on a high post, McDowell down low. The zone covering them up, though. Gresham, a dipsy-doodle shot way off the mark, then knocked over the backboard out of bounds to Kentucky.
Bad shot by Florida. Gresham didn't have it, and same thing at both ends. Bennett shot a bad shot. We came right back. Gresham put up a bad one.
That's number 10, Ronnie Montgomery, into the game for Florida. He's a 5'11 freshman from Jacksonville. In Kentucky, if you see Norm Sloan talking on the bench to Andrew Moulton, who came out. Kentucky also has a freshman in the game, Ed Davender. He's 15 in white. 6'1", a freshman from Brooklyn, New York. He's averaging 7 a game for the Wildcats.
Look on him is that he's a good shooter, and he needs to against this Florida zone defense.
McKinley almost shot, but passed it off to Davender just at the last minute. Madison will take it. He's not shy about putting it up. Came up way short. Barrett in there trying to get the rebound. It goes out of bounds to Florida.
Kentucky has to get better shots than that. They need to be a little more patient. Very questionable shot, almost one step out of Madison's range.
McDowell and Barrett fighting for the ball. They rule that Barrett touched it last. It's Florida's basketball, leading by 5. Lob for McDowell, comes down with it, knocked away by Bennett. Bennett with a steal. Here's Davender in front court. Stolen away from him. Florida comes the other way with Gresham leading the break. Sheldon blocked out of bounds by Barrett. Cavender tried to save it and went up into the crowd. There he comes.
This crowd here, 23,000 plus. They love it.
Here it is again as Barrett with the block saving a basket for Kentucky, but Florida has the lead by 5.
The Bull has more taste than beer.
No one does it like the Bull.
You could find yourself impressed just by the clean aerodynamic styling of the Mazda 626 Sport Coupe. But looking further, you find a driver's seat that adjusts 6 ways, instrumentation that is complete and functional, and a cockpit-adjustable suspension system. And at 8845, you can't help but be impressed by its outstanding value. But the most lingering impression is when you experience its performance. Mazda 626. Experience it.
Hello, friends. Al Purnell here. I've been telling you about Purnell's Old Folks Whole Hog Country Sausage.
Yeah, Alan, tell them about our new sausage and biscuit package.
This is how your dad and I started the business, selling sausage and biscuits.
Thanks, Mama. They come 6 in a tray, 2 in a package, with a great big patty of Old Folks Country sausage made the old-fashioned way. And plain broiled. Just heat and eat. You'll enjoy the convenience of Old Folks Country sausage and biscuits. Oh, they're good.
Well, hopefully we won't see any snow next week. We'll be in Gainesville, Florida, as these Florida Gators host the Alabama Crimson Tide here on the Lorimar Sports Network. Should be an excellent matchup. Alabama playing great basketball at the moment, coming off a win at Auburn on the road this past Wednesday. That's Alabama and Florida, 4 o'clock Eastern, 3 o'clock Central. The best in college basketball on the Lorimar Sports Network.
Kentucky now 6 of 17, just 35%.
Gresham outside for the Gators, can't hit it. Rebound comes right into the hands of Winston Bennett. We still haven't seen Kenny Walker since the 17-minute mark in the game, with 7.5 minutes to play in the first half. He's missed 10 minutes after picking up 2 quick fouls. Inside Barrett, somebody made a pass at him, Gresham, and fouled him. Darrell Gresham has his second. That's 5 against the Gators now.
Gators aren't just exactly wearing it out. They're 8 of 21 from the field. Francisco Leon went out of the game about 30 seconds ago, and it looks like maybe he's having some problems with that knee. He missed 7 games with knee problems, and I noticed they were working on his brakes.
You saw the replay and the foul on Gresham. Pat Lawrence has re-entered the Florida lineup, and so have Andrew Moten and Vernon Maxwell. Troy McKinley, that's the outside shooting touch that has endeared him to Kentucky fans. He has 4 points off the bench, and Kentucky trims the lead to 3.
When you're in the zone, you've got to really put pressure on him when the ball's in his area, because he can really shoot from the outside.
Inside, McDowell off the lob from Moten, gets the stuff, his first field goal, and his 3rd point of the game.
Well, there's the dunking machine. I don't know why he didn't do it the time before, but great replay. The dunking machine, McDowell.
Back to live action. Kentucky's just thrown it away off the hand of Troy McKinley and out of bounds to Florida. Watch that lob again as McDowell stuffs it, giving Florida a 5-point lead.
Of course, that's one of the weaknesses on the zone defense. There is that opening on the backside, so if the timing's there, you can get a quick stuff, and that's what the Gators did.
Cedric Jenkins in for Kentucky, as Maxwell can't hit outside for the Gators, chased down by Moten. Jenkins, 6'8", a freshman from Dawson, Georgia. He has replaced Madison. Lawrence couldn't hit it, but Leaf with the offensive rebound lays it in. Florida really whipping Kentucky on the boards at the moment.
Also another weakness of that zone defense. Nobody blocked Randall Leaf out, so he just went right through the zone defense and laid it in.
Kentucky led by 2 early in the game, but right now they trail by 7. Coach Joe Hall of Kentucky calls for a timeout. 6 minutes, 30 seconds to play in the first half. Timeout with the score, Florida 22, Kentucky 15.
The Bull has more taste than beer.
No one does it like the Bull.
For Dr. Tom Oakley, whose temper kicked off every time his engine ran on, Gulf prescribes the gas with guts to help stop engine run-on. For David Garvey, Diesel Rabbit couldn't get hopping. The Gulf Screen filters his fuel for starts quick as a bunny. For Arthur Harris, whose unleaded gasoline left him cold, there's Gulf Gas with Guts with extra octane for quick pickups.
Gulf, everything we do makes driving better for you. Financial energy.
Ever wonder what it takes to create more jobs? The financial energy of First National Bank is helping this company expand to take full advantage of a growing demand for their products. By financing the expansion, financial energy will play a major role in creating more than 50 new jobs.
Financial energy.
The financial energy of First National Bank. Put it to work for you.
This broadcast presented by the Lorimar Sports Network. Any copying or use of this broadcast without the express permission of the Lorimar Sports Network is prohibited.
Kentucky has yet to score back-to-back baskets, and there's the star, Kenny Skywalker, and he's been out, what, Tom, almost 12 minutes?
Played only 3 minutes, and we're down to 6.5. So Walker has been on the bench, and Kentucky behind by 7. Coach Joby Hall said time to get him back in. Davender penetrates back to McKinley, who hits. Give penetration to credit, and that's what Davender did. The zone came to him, and the zone buster, McKinley, stuck it in. Kentucky within 5. Randall Leaf in the paint, missed in close, got his own rebound, faked, went up, and traveled. Turn it over to Kentucky. Leaf in heavy traffic underneath. There's Davender right in the middle of that zone defense. You see all the orange shirts come to him? He kicked it to the wing, and McKinley sticks it in the bottom of the sack. Back to live action. Kentucky a chance to pull it in 3. Taken away from Davender, and Davender goes back to get it for Kentucky. Puts it up from 6 foot deep. No good. Rebound by McDowell. Kentucky still has not scored back-to-back baskets in this first half, and the Gators have scored back-to-back baskets 4 times. The Gators with the ball in a 5-point lead. Less than 5.5 minutes to play in the first half. Maxwell looking over that Kentucky zone defense. The 2-3. Leave Moten open. He hits. Andrew Moten connects from outside. He has 9 points here in the first half. 7-point Gator lead. Gators patient against that 2-3 Kentucky zone defense. Looking for that perimeter shot, and they have some people who can put it in. Walker flashes back to Davender. They go inside Bennett. Turnaround jumper good. Winston Bennett. They've got to trim on that baseline, and it's very difficult to trap the way he was positioned, and he just turned right around and stuck it in the bottom against the Gators' zone defense. Bennett has carried the offense in the absence of Walker today. 7 points in the first half for Winston Bennett, right on his average. Maxwell, who had a poor shooting night in the Gators' upset loss at home to Georgia this past Wednesday, has found the range for 6 points here in the first half, and the Gators again claim a 7-point advantage. You talk about spring music, he didn't even touch iron. Walker triple team, back out to Davender. McKinley is open, on its way, good. He's warming up, and that's what they have to have. McKinley now takes over the leading scorer spot for the Wildcats. He's pitched in 8. 5 points. The Gator lead. Florida has 6 offensive boards to just 3 for Kentucky. But remember, Walker was out. Lawrence dribbled it off his foot, out of bounds. Francisco Leon back in for the Gators of Norm Sloan. Sloan, who has won more games than any coach in the Southeastern Conference, 533 for his career. There are the turnovers. Kentucky's turned it over 2 more times. Norm Sloan was hospitalized with pneumonia and missed the game. A win over Mississippi, I believe. Monty Chow's assistant coach that game. Norm had coached 800 and some games in a row. Now then gave a little hug to the referee. He was starting to question the call. He's even looking it up to see what's the replay show. Gators switched defenses. They went man-to-man, but they were trying to trap. You see Lawrence and Moten trying to trap there, but they had a foul. Kentucky inbound. Kentucky warming up. They're 11 of 22 now, 50%. They trail by 5. Jenkins, McKinley. Wildcats only with 2 starters in the game, Bennett and Walker.
Cisco Leone is guarding Kenny Walker.
This is Walker. McDowell picks him up. Gets by McDowell, lays it in. What a move.
He's an artist. That's what he is. He hesitated, took fake, hung in the air, went to the glass and made it go. Beautiful move.
And the fans try to pick up the Wildcats now, who are pulled within 3 with 2:55 to play in the first half. Moulton looking for Lawrence, gives it to him.
Remember, we have a 45-second clock.
Lob into McDowell, surrounded by Wildcats. Jenkins pulled it down. McKinley, now Davender. Davender all the way, lost the handle, off the leg of Davender and out of bounds to Florida. Watch Kenny Walker again with this move to get by McDowell.
Oh, he hangs in the air so beautifully because he's got that great jumping ability. Went to the glass with it, and that's what you have to do because to stick it in just on that kind of a move straight to the basket is almost impossible.
Roger Harden re-enters the Kentucky lineup as Davender goes to the bench. Daryl Gresham has come in for Florida. Also in for the Gators, Kenny McClary. He's a 6'7" freshman from Fort Lauderdale, averaging 2 points a game. Both coaches using their subs liberally here in the first half. McClary in some trouble, almost stolen, but saved by Gresham. Maxwell. McClary got a hand on it. Bennett goes high to grab it, and a foul on Florida.
Kentucky still zoning, forcing that outside shot. Gators couldn't get it. Rebounding foul underneath. McDowell way up there, out of pushing and shoving. He got a piece of him right there.
Eugene McDowell has his second personal foul, and that is the 7th team foul on Florida, so they'll shoot 1+1 for the first time in the game. Joe Hall, the head coach at Kentucky, in his 13th season here. He's won 287 games, lost 92. He's won 363 for his 18 years as a head coach in college basketball. That's Randall Lee's 43, who replaces McDowell in Norm Sloan's lineup.
Back coach Joe Hall lost 4 starters of last year's Final Four team. He's playing with 5 freshmen, 3 sophomores, and 2 juniors on this squad.
Bennett can't hit the free throw. He hit his first one this afternoon. Now he's missed 2 in a row. And the Gators have the ball again, still leading by 3, and 2 minutes to play in the first half. Moulton, top of the key, good.
Oh, he set it up so beautifully. Defense tried to step into the gap, and a beautiful pass by Pat Lawrence made it happen, and Moulton was shooting all the way. He spotted up perfectly.
Moulton leads all scorers in the game with 11 thus far. Kentucky down by 5, operating against that Gator zone defense.
Gone back to the zone. They went away from man defense the last trip.
Inside, a foul, a pushing foul on Lawrence of Florida. This is Joe Lawrence now. His brother Pat played in the first half. Joe is a 6'5" sophomore from Crestview, Florida. He's averaging 6 a game and was a starter for Norm Sloan and Monty Tao earlier in the season. Sloan, by the way, the 5th winningest active coach in college basketball. Only 17 have won more than 500 games, and both Joe Hall and Norm Sloan have won national championships. Sloan at North Carolina State and Hall, of course, here at Kentucky. Both have been national coaches of the year. Bennett misses again. He's missed 3 in a row. Leaf with the rebound for the Gators.
And when you miss the front end of 1-and-1, that is really tough. The Gators are going to spread it out and really work the clock down. They got a 3-out, 2-in offensive set. They're really going to run that clock down. They want to go in on top at the half and milk that clock as far down as they possibly can. We've got 21 seconds on the shot clock.
And 1:05 on the game clock for the first half. Now less than a minute to play first half, and the shot clock down to 10.
I like the strategy. Makes a lot of sense.
Lawrence, Moulton, shot clock at 4. Maxwell, no good. Taken by Walker. Here comes Harden. Bennett lost the handle, picked it up though. Norm Sloan wanted a traveling call. He really was agitated on the Florida bench. Walker missed the shot. Fans wanted a foul there. McCary has it, gives it up to Moulton. Fast and furious action here, and now Florida again will put it in the deep freeze with 26 seconds to play in the first half. They can take it down to the final shot.
Right, that's what they're going to do.
Moulton, Lawrence, cross court, Maxwell, 12 seconds. Now at 9 as they begin their offensive set. They go into Leaf. Gives back to Maxwell. Good fake. His shot bounces no good. McClary taps it in with 1 second left. That'll be the end of the first half. McClary off the offensive glass as Florida continues to operate well on the offensive board. Taps it in to give the Gators a 7-point halftime advantage. So Kentucky goes to the dressing room down by 7 at the end of the first half of play. The score, the Gators of Florida 30, the Wildcats of Kentucky 23. We'll be back to Rupp Arena in a moment.
Designed for the best pro player. Thank you, Larry. StarTech Unisaddle protects my ankles and gives that extra mid-foot support a great rebounder needs. It's reinforced for me. And me. Hey, maybe it was made for both of us. Must be magic.
Now that's who this shoe was made for.
The Converse StarTech with the unique unisaddle designs.
Reach for the stars, reach for Converse.
Have anything you like. It's all good.
We just don't get to see you enough.
When you're ready to share a family meal, come gather around our table. At Shoney's, we're America's dinner.
In season are our Southern-style grits and golden fried potatoes. Shoney's better than ever breakfast bar. What a delicious way to start the day.
Shoney's, America's dinner table.
Diet Coke contains saccharin. What about the 100% NutraSweet?
Some people may think Diet Coke contains no saccharin.
That's not what this label says.
If you're confused, read the label. You'll find most Diet Coke still contains saccharin, almost twice as much saccharin as it does NutraSweet. But most Diet Pepsi contains 100% NutraSweet and no saccharin.
Some difference. Some taste.
Diet Pepsi, 100% NutraSweet, 100% taste.
Hey, Diet Pepsi, you got it. 100%.
We're at intermission at Rupp Arena in Lexington with the homestanding Wildcats on the short end of the score at halftime. Florida leading Kentucky 30-23. Well, Kentucky had a brief 2-point lead in that first half, Joe, but after that, all the Gators enjoying their longest lead of the game, 7-point turn at halftime. They shot well, they boarded well, and Kentucky struggled, especially when Walker had to go to the bench early.
Well, I thought that was the key, Tom. He drew 2 fouls, just boom, boom, and he only played, maybe 7 minutes totally in the entire first half. He leads them in everything. They're so dependent upon Kenny Walker, and you could see why on a couple of moves. But the Gators have played very smart. They're a good perimeter shooting team. They've looked for that perimeter shot. Moten particularly has hit it, but offensive board work by Florida has been big and has been effective for them.
Boy, Joe, it seems that Norm Sloan has good depth. He played 11 players in the first half, and 7 of them scored.
One of the reasons they were concerned about their matchup, particularly against Winston Bennett, and he changed people often trying to find somebody, but Winston's so physical, and I think it bothered them, but they did a fairly decent job against him. Bennett still had 7 at halftime.
Bennett had 7, and Troy McKinley came off the bench to hit some long bombers for the Wildcats against the Florida zone, or the Wildcats would be in serious trouble here at halftime. They trail by 7 as Florida leads it 30-23. Now let's take a look at our Schlitz Malt Liquor scoreboard and pick up some scores for you. We know already this afternoon a couple of scores. In fact, up the interstate here at Freedom Hall, Memphis State coach Dana Kirk beat Louisville for the first time. Memphis State whipping Louisville 69-66 in college basketball in the Metro Conference this afternoon. And Alabama Birmingham beat Western 68-66. Georgetown, the #1 team in the nation, beat Pitt 65-53. Oklahoma, a winner over Kansas 87-76. In Big Ten action, Illinois Northwestern. Illinois won at 55-43, and Purdue a winner over Wisconsin 72-68. Let's take a look now at Southeastern Conference games coming up tonight. Alabama at Tennessee. Alabama just coming off a win, and Auburn facing the Vols on their home court at the Stokely Center tonight. Auburn is on the road at Georgia, and Georgia, of course, is playing well at the moment after spinning her wheels a little bit to start the conference season. They beat Vanderbilt at home last week in Athens. They went on the road to beat this Florida team in Gainesville with a big win. LSU is at Vanderbilt. The Tigers coming off their upset loss at Ole Miss on Thursday night, and the Ole Miss Rebels try to carry that momentum onto the road in Starkville, facing their arch rival, the surprise team in the conference race so far, the Bulldogs of Mississippi State. So here are the way the conference standings stack up, Joe.
Well, if Kentucky should lose here this afternoon, you've got a log jam at the top. Kentucky, Bama, Florida, who's playing well, and here they're playing very well. Tennessee, a little bit of a surprise. He's got that team really doing a good job with Brooks hitting from the outside, but Bob Boyd's Bulldogs, everybody talks about the surprise, and they're really hanging tough, and of course you see the bottom half. LSU, a little bit of a disappointment, Tom. How about the other group?
Well, Auburn and Georgia right there together, 2 and 3. Vanderbilt and Ole Miss, 9th and 10th, respectively. The Rebels just getting their first conference win, upsetting LSU in Oxford this past Thursday night. Well, that's our Schlitz Malt Liquor scoreboard for today. No one does it like the Bull. Accommodations provided to the Lorimar Sports Network staff by the beautiful Radisson Plaza Hotel here in Lexington. Proud supporters of the University of Kentucky. When in Lexington, stay at the Radisson Plaza. You're watching Southeastern Conference basketball on the Lorimar Sports Network. At halftime, the Gators of Florida leading the Wildcats of Kentucky 30-23. We'll be back to Rupp Arena after this message from your local station.
In just a few seconds, you're going to hear about the biggest offer Time Magazine has ever made, including a fantastic free gift. So stay right where you are, and I'll be back to tell you how to get it all.
You like to keep up with what's going on in the world, don't you?
You bet.
Well, if you call this toll-free number, you get Time Magazine for almost half off the cover price.
Well, sounds good to me. I'll take it.
I'm not through. You actually get that discount for half a year. 27 issues. So you know what's going on in the world. In the nation, with politics, interesting people, the latest movies, your health, and technology. And you get it with all the color and insight only Time can deliver, so you really understand what's going on.
That's for me. I'll take it.
Not yet. You get free home delivery.
Great. I'll call.
Not so fast. Wait to see this.
What?
The Time 35mm camera. It's free with your paid subscription.
You gotta be kidding.
No, we're not. It has a 50mm fixed focus lens and a range of exposure settings, so you'll take great pictures.
I'll take it.
Wait. It comes with a protective lens cap and a neck strap.
Terrific.
And that's not all. You even get a handsome carrying case and a full-color guide to better picture taking. And all you have to do is call 1-800-621-6000.
Now?
Now. That's 27 issues of Time for almost half off, a free 35mm camera, lens cap, strap, carrying case, and photo guide, all for 3 easy payments of just $8.89.
Hello? I'll take it.
Hi, I'm Judy, one of the operators here at Time Magazine, standing by to take your order. Call now and get this amazing offer. Time for almost half off the cover price and the Time 35mm camera free. But hurry, an offer this good won't be around forever.
Tom Hammond and Joe Dean, we're at halftime at Rupp Arena in Lexington with Florida leading Kentucky by 7, 30-23. Now let's pause for a moment to take a look at the 2 schools competing in today's game. Let's look at the University of Florida and the University of Kentucky.
I'm Marshall Kreiser, president of the University of Florida. Florida, its economy, its environment, and its future. All these will be influenced, indeed may be revolutionized by programs now going on at the University of Florida. Programs in business, in law and medicine, research in high technology, architecture, and agriculture, studies to save the coastlands and the wetlands. The University of Florida is a statewide resource dedicated to the future of Florida.
What could be more important to a university than the strength of its faculty? At the University of Kentucky, 98% of faculty members have earned the highest degrees in their field. And in addition to holding outstanding credentials, they care about their students. The UK faculty. Another reason why, at the University of Kentucky, some of our greatest victories are in the classroom.
At halftime, Florida leads Kentucky 30-23. Right now, let's go courtside where Joe Dean has one of the fine gentlemen in the Southeastern Conference, the president of the University of Kentucky, Dr. Otis Singletary.
Tom Hammond's bragging on you, Dr. Singletary. Hey, fine gentlemen.
Take all that I can get.
All you can get. How about the NCAA meetings? What came out of the meetings in Nashville that would affect directly the Southeastern Conference?
Well, I had a feeling generally that it was the most peaceful meeting we've had in several years. There was no great crisis out there this time, Joe. No big issue that had everybody torn up. The most important legislation that was passed, I think, long-term, was to give the Division 1A schools autonomy, at least in the formal sense. They didn't give us autonomy over a great deal, however. And, yeah, that's evolutionary, though, and I think we worked toward that. There were no great explosive or divisive issues, and I think that the next one is going to be fairly lively, however.
We talk so much about academics, and the NCAA's talked about changes there. Can we live with all this and have big-time athletic programs?
Oh, of course you can. What they're talking about is a fairly fundamental premise, I think, and that is that you believe that intercollegiate athletics ought to be played by legitimate college students. And I don't quarrel with that, and I don't know why anyone should. Right here on this court today are a lot of kids who are pretty good students, and, you know, I just don't believe that that's really the problem. And I do believe that with the requirement now for the core curriculum and whichever way it comes out on the test score and all that the academic business is pretty well in place, not just for the eligibility requirement, Joe, but also for the satisfactory progress after you get in, and it has to be in an established degree program of the institution. I think that legislation in the last several years has been very good, and I think you'll see the attention now of the NCAA moving over into the recruitment and enforcement area and the organization area pretty much.
Your team's struggling a little bit here at halftime.
Well, as you know, it's a young team and it's very inexperienced, and they're cold shooting team today, colder than usual. They're scrappy and they hang tough, and haven't given up on them.
I'm surprised they're where they are, as young as they are.
Matter of fact, you can't lose 4 players of the kind we lost. And the way things are going, Joe doesn't have to win many more games for me to think you ought to make him coach of the year.
One vote for Joe Hall. Tom Hammond, this is Dr. Otis Singletary. He's done a fine job here as president of this institution, University of Kentucky, and I'll throw it back to you, Tom.
All right, Joe Dean, we're at halftime at Rupp Arena with Kentucky on the short end of the score. The Gators lead the Wildcats 30-23. Today's game is brought to you by Coors Light, so turn it loose tonight. By Gulf Oil, where at Gulf, everything we do makes driving better for you. By Atra from Gillette, the essence of shaving. And by Pepsi's Diet Colas containing no saccharin. They're 100% NutraSweet, 100% taste.
WAVE TV Sports is happy to bring you this SEC game. The next WAVE SEC game is Thursday, January 24th, when Vandy takes on Alabama at 11:30 p.m. See the finest basketball the SEC has to offer here on WAVE TV3.
For Tom Casey, whose gasoline chickened out every time he tried to pass. Now, as always, there's the gas with guts with its extra octane to help you accelerate, climb, and pass without laying an egg. For Morton Mitchell, who demands the right gas, but at the right price, Gulf self-service makes more sense for less than.
Gulf, everything we do makes driving better for you.
Darn, sure tore a hole in the roof. Lose us a week fixing it. Maybe not. Get the stuff off the truck there.
Morning. Thought we'd give up farming and take up roofing for a change.
Don't let us stop ya.
Bring those 2x6s over here. Give me a bundle of shingles. More nails. Almost there. That ought to do it.
Can't thank you boys enough for putting us back into business.
Then don't.
The red man reaction. Satisfaction. The essence of hitting. George Brett.
Some guys say it's the rhythm of pitch. For me, it's a feeling that says I'm going downtown.
The essence of shaving.
This is Atra by Gillette. It pivots so the twin blades stay on your beard longer. But what Atra is all about is the feeling that says you just got Gillette's best shave.
Gillette, the essence of shaving.
When you first see the Mazda RX-7, you begin to understand why it has become a legend among today's sports cars. Because beyond its classic styling, you soon discover the sheer perfection of its bucket seats. You experience its comprehensive instrumentation and feel the preciseness of its 5-speed. These things alone help make it an exceptional value. But to gain an even deeper understanding of the RX-7, you're going to have to experience roads like these for yourself. Mazda RX-7. Experience it.
Florida leads Kentucky by 7 at halftime. A quick look at the stats. Florida shooting 41%, and Kentucky out shooting them 45.8 for the Wildcats. Neither team has shot many free throws. 2 of 4 for Florida, 1 of 4 for Kentucky. Florida holds a rebounding edge, and in the turnovers, Kentucky has committed 3 more turnovers than have the Gators. And in individual scoring, Florida led at halftime by Andrew Moulton with 11, and Troy McKinley leads Kentucky with 8. It's 30-23, Florida leading Kentucky. We'll be back with the second half tip-off after this message from your local station.
On Sunday, February 3rd, these doors in the west wing of the fairgrounds will open on the largest retail selling event in Louisville's history, the WAVE 3 Super Warehouse Sale 2. Bigger and better than ever, with more retailers, more products, and more variety. Hundreds of retailers selling at the lowest prices of the season. Register to win the opportunity to buy a Ford Bronco 2, Buick Regal, or Dodge Caravan at half price. Don't miss out on the WAVE 3 Super Warehouse Sale 2.
When I won 5 world championships, I had lots of competition. And today, from my bowling centers, business is just as competitive.
That's why it comes on strong in the South Central Bell Yellow Pages.
Right, Pa. We advertise under several headings, so it's easier for customers to find us.
If I win, can we call it the Paula Carter Bowling Center?
Now, if the Yellow Pages could just help me with the competition I get from my wife.
I would.
Big winners advertise in the real Yellow Pages from South Central Bell.
Scoring went in the first half individually. Moulton with 11. Maxwell with 6, 4 for Leaf. McDowell had only 3. Sheldon, McClary, and Gresham with 2 apiece. Nobody in foul trouble for the Gators. For Kentucky, coming off the bench, Troy McKinley with 8. Winston Bennett had 7. Kenny Walker, of course, didn't play much in that first half. Had only 4 points. Barrett with 2 and Harden with 2 to complete the Wildcat scoring. And, of course, in the backcourt, Florida holds a big edge in scoring during that first half. We warned that might be the case. The Florida guards have outscored the Kentucky guards 21-2. The Kentucky forwards have taken up the slack a little bit, and neither center has been too effective today. That's the 7-point lead for Florida here at halftime with the guards, Moulton and Gresham, primarily Moulton with 11 points, supplying most of the firepower for the Gators.
Might mention that Randall Leaf has 7 rebounds in that first half. Their rebounding edge was 4, but they had more offensive boards and converted some into baskets, and that was a big difference in that first half for the Gators. Florida's man-to-man.
Blackman misses from outside for Kentucky. The Wildcats had first possession, and the Gators come the other way now. Moulton still moving. Gresham is wide open, and he missed it. McDowell has the rebound, 1 dribble, and a giant step to lay it in.
Gators really pushed it to the defense. They had Kentucky jammed in. They got the good shot. It wouldn't go. But the Duncan machine, here he comes back and puts it on the floor. An excellent quick move inside.
Back to live action with Florida holding its longest lead of the game. The Gators up by 9. Blackman fires. Off the glass, no good. Tapped right to Walker. He goes up and draws the foul.
There you saw Kenny Walker, offensive board. Kept it alive. Coach Sloan saying, hey, he got the ball, nothing else. Shouldn't have been a foul. Look at it again. Yeah, they got a lot of body. A lot of body.
It sends Kenny Walker to the free throw line. Kentucky tried 4 free throws in the first half, hit only 1. All of those shots taken by Winston Bennett.
Kentucky, a pretty good free throw shooting team on the year, 74.3%. Kenny Walker, All-American candidate, shooting 78% at the foul line.
Danny Sheldon has come in for Florida, replacing Vernon Maxwell. Walker hits the second shot. Let's set the lineup for you now. Kentucky has its original starting 5 in the game. Walker, Bennett, Barrett, Harden, and Blackman. Florida with Moulton, Gresham, Leaf. Now Sheldon to go with McDowell. Moulton underneath Gresham. Missed the shot. Bennett, good position on the defensive glass. Takes it off and gives it up to Harden. Here's Walker. Trips away on the floor. Sheldon back to McDowell, and Florida has it.
Great save by Danny Sheldon. He just dove out there to kick it to Eugene McDowell. Beautiful hustle.
Lob inside McDowell. Barrett behind him, Bennett in front. McDowell leads the team in assists, gives it up to Gresham. Blackman got a hand on it. Bennett back to Blackman. Drives in against Sheldon. Kicks it to Bennett. And a foul, a charging foul on Blackman. Well, they probably should have got it to the center of the court and should have pulled up at about the free throw line.
No question about it. You just can't run the break that way. You got to bring it back to the middle where you've got both lanes converging and make everything happen that you want to have happen. As you mentioned, Tom, stop at the foul line, and so often we say that because when you don't, the way the game's played today, they'll set you up, they'll take that charge underneath, and Danny Sheldon again won't show in the scorebook, but he made another big play. He took the charge.
Here's Joe Lawrence in the game for the Gators. Randall leads with the basketball. Lawrence puts up the shot. He got it. Joe Lawrence hits his first two, and the Gators, they're up again by 9, 34-25 Florida.
Well, that's the book on Joe Lawrence. Excellent outside shooter, and started a lot of games early in the year for the Gators.
Walker, double team. Moten coming over to help. Moten guarding Harden, but sloughing off to help out on Walker.
Randall Leach is guarding Kenny Walker.
Barrett. Harden is open. Top of the key won't go. Walker fighting with Leach. Leach wins the battle, but not the ball. Goes out of bounds, but they say last touch by Kentucky. Joe Hall doesn't believe it.
In fact, he's talking to the official about it, but he didn't go out of the shooting, out of the coach's box. That's a close call.
I don't believe it. I didn't see any Kentucky. A tough angle. You couldn't really see Walker or Barrett, but it didn't appear that a Kentucky player had touched. McDowell tries to spin on Barrett. Can't get the baseline. Give it back to McDowell. Bennett reached in and slapped the ball away. Lob pass for Walker. Chases it down and gets the shot from the foul as well.
The Gators were trying to take it inside to McDowell. They stripped it away from him, and that's unusual because McDowell usually kicks it out a little quicker, but they got the lob pass out to Kenny Walker. Look at him here. He'll stop it. A little stufferino for Kenny Walker.
And Sheldon fouled him as well, so Walker will have a chance to convert the three-point trip. And so this is what Kentucky needed. They needed to get Walker cranked up. And he already has scored 5 points in this half. Walker has 5. All Kentucky's second half points. The Wildcats have pulled within 6. Moten got away from Harden, dipped it to McDowell. Collision in there. McDowell misses the shot. Leaf rebounds, puts it up short. Tapped by Walker, taken by Harden. Harden all the way. Against Sheldon, he scores. It's going to be a charging foul on Harden. Let's see if the basket counts. I haven't seen a ruling on the basket yet, have you?
Let's look at it again. Harden had a breakaway. Sheldon again, setting him up.
The basket did not count. The basket did not count. He charged before he let the ball go. I think that was a good call.
Kentucky's man-to-man defensively, and it's aggressive.
Maxwell misses. Barrett rebounds. Out to Walker. He's got Blackman 2-on-1. Back to Walker. Shot. And a foul. Now that's the way to run the break. But give Kenny Walker credit. He kicked the ball off to the wing as soon as he got it. He didn't even put it on the floor. Right there. Blackman right back to him. Beautiful teamwork. So Kenny Walker has pulled Kentucky up by the bootstraps, and Florida's going to take a timeout and try to regroup. It's been all Walker in the second half. He'll be at the free throw line when we come back, trying to pull Kentucky within 3. Timeout. Florida leads it by 4.
When night comes out to play,
Turn it loose with the silver bullet. Find it, catch it, grab it, pull it. It's the right light one when you hit the town. Coors Light will never, never, never slow you down. Live life, party right. Turn it loose with the silver bullet tonight.
Coors Light Beer.
For Ed Ryan, who was confused by all the new unleaded gasoline claims, there's Gulf Super Unleaded. Now is always the gas with guts, one of the highest octane gasolines you can buy. For Morton Mitchell, who demands the right gas, but at the right price, Gulf self-service makes more sense for less than.
Gulf, everything we do makes driving better for you. Financial energy.
You're looking at pastry baked with financial energy. You see, when this master baker decided to go into business for himself, he came to First National. We helped with a financial energy to equip this bakery. and even helped him return to his native Germany to learn even more about the art of making mouth-watering pastry. The financial energy of First National Bank. Put it to work for you.
Tom Hammond and Joe Dean from Rupp Arena. Kenny Walker at the free throw line for Kentucky, trying to convert a three-point trip. He did just that a moment ago. That's the free throw. He's 4 for 4 at the line. There's that last play again. The fast break. Walker with a slam and made the free throw to convert the three-point trip. Walker has scored all 8 Kentucky points in the second half. The Wildcats man-to-man defensively.
Man-to-man defense has really lit a fire under this Kentucky team. They're much more aggressive. And the Gators are playing a 3-guard offense, as we mentioned, and they've really spread the court out. Kentucky 2 of 5 from the field the second half. Florida just 2 of 7.
The Gators here in their delay offense, leading by 3. Maxwell takes Blackman baseline and travels. So the Gators turn it over, and Kentucky will have a chance to pull it in 1.
Looks like Coach Norm Sloan is trying to settle this team down and maybe get this crowd back out of this game, because there's 23,700 in here, and they've really come to play all of a sudden.
Trying to get Walker loose underneath. Randall Leaf guarding him. Gets some help from Moulton and a foul on Florida. They had him triple teamed as soon as the ball went inside. Let's see who they call a foul on.
I think it's on Randall Leaf on the backside. They're looking for Kenny Walker now. Every offensive set by Kentucky as they come down. And you see there head coach Norm Sloan of the Florida Gators.
Here's Randall Leaf, who just picked up his second personal foul. 3 against the Gators and 4 now they're fouled. There's a lob from Harden to Walker with a predictable result.
Beautiful pass. The timing was magnificent.
Kenny Walker now with 10 points in the second half, and Kentucky within 1. Maxwell can't hit it. Leaf scrambles for it. Moulton has it. Off the glass, no good. Bennett taps it to Harden. Kentucky can take the lead. Here's Blackman in front court. Lost the ball, gives it up to Harden. Let's see if they look for Walker here. There's Kenny Walker. Taken down by Gresham on the miss, and the Gators hold on to that 1-point lead. We played 5 minutes of the second half.
The Gators have totally gone to their delay-type game. They got the middle open, and that's what they're going to.
Beautiful shot by Moulton. Pulled up and shot it in over Winston Bennett. Andrew Moulton now has 13.
The Gators are going to try to win it with their guards. Kentucky's going to try to win it with Kenny Walker.
Gators in a 2-3 zone defense. They lead by 3. Walker, a little out of his range there. He'll move and try to post up low. Harden gets it to bear up on the high post. Bennett off the wing. Missed everything. Taken by Gresham. He's got Moulton streaking for the basket. Good.
And a beautiful lead pass by Gresham. He lobbed it out where he could just run under it. Beautiful. Bad shot by Winston Bennett. Out of his range.
Florida lead goes back to 5 with just over 14 minutes to play. Blackman. Barrett tapped it, but taken by Gresham of Florida. Well, they went to Walker consistently, got back in the game within 1. Now they've gone away from Walker, and they trail by 5 and a chance to go 7 now. Walker got a hand on it. Leaf, though, picks it up. His shot over Barrett is good. Randall Leaf scooped it up off the floor and got his 6 points.
He's had a big game on the offensive glass. As we mentioned, he had 7 boards in the first half, and he's really done a job at that end. Kentucky needs to go back to Kenny Walker.
7-point lead for the Gators. They scored 6 in a row. This is Walker. Missed everything, perhaps a little too far out. There's Gresham. Gresham has been in there to get 2 or 3 boards. There's 3 on 2. Gresham from 15. Came out. Barrett to Bennett. Walker gives it to Harden, and they'll set it up now. Barrett chases it down. He's open for the shot. Can't hit it. Leaf with another rebound for Florida.
Kentucky again with poor shot selection. And it's really been killing them. Just like when it looked like they were going to really make a move at the Gators, they come down and put up about 3 shots that really were very, very questionable.
Looked like he was killing Joe Hall, too. He had a look of dismay on his face. The Wildcats down by 7, which was the halftime margin. Florida's biggest lead was 9 points early in this half. Maxwell's had a poor shooting night. Barrett with a rebound, and he's fouled.
Maxwell put up a bad shot also. One of the toughest things for coaches to teach. Shot selection, and both teams have demonstrated some poor shots here in this part of the second half.
Ronnie Montgomery, number 10, is in for Florida, the 5'11 freshman from Jacksonville. Played in the first half, didn't score. Joe Lawrence, the 6'5 sophomore, is also in for Norm Sloan. Troy McKinley now enters the Kentucky lineup. And Barrett goes out. And Ed Davender is also in the game for the Wildcats. That's the score. Florida by 7. Kentucky with the basketball.
Trying to get some scoring out of McKinley and out of Davender, who just came in, and you see the team foul.
McKinley led the Wildcats in scoring the first half when it came off the bench to pitch in 8. Harden takes but doesn't shoot. Into Walker. Nice move in the lane over McDowell. Kenny Walker.
That zone defense is really packing it in now for the Gators, trying to shut down Kenny Walker. Harden made the defense come to him just enough so that he could get it to Walker. That's the best offense they have.
Walker, who has scored 27 straight games in double figures, has 16 this afternoon as the Wildcats pull within 5.
Gators gone away from their spread offense now and gone more back to the 3 wing players, but they're trying to go inside more now.
Montgomery, Lawrence, Davender all alone for the rebound. Harden is open. Outside bomber, no good. Tap right back to Harden. Still no good. And a rebound by Lawrence of Florida. Kentucky can't hit. Walker's the only one that seems to be able to score for them. He's the only one that scored for Kentucky this half. He has 12 in the half. Montgomery. McDowell got the rebound. And Florida has another chance, leading by 5. Approaching the midway point of the second half. Lawrence. Sheldon tapped it. McKinley got a hand on it, and he's fouled. I think they're going to call it on Sheldon.
Kentucky went to a 3-2 zone defense that time, trying to shut down that perimeter shooting of the Florida Gators. In the last 2 trips, it's paid dividends because Lawrence has missed 2 perimeter jump shots.
We've got a timeout. 10 minutes, 47 seconds to play from Rupp Arena. The score, the Gators of Florida 40, the Wildcats of Kentucky 35.
For the best in college basketball, watch the SEC.
Working hard doesn't have to mean perspiration odor. Give it all you've got. Right Guard Spray can help keep you smelling good for up to 24 hours. That's protection.
No good battery.
Okay, buddy, let's go. You're under arrest.
What for?
For assaulting a battery.
Avoid frustrations. Start and go with a Big O service-free battery. Yes, the same great folks who make it easy to buy tires also make it easy to buy the Big O battery. Easy financing, 3 months, same as cash. Start and go with a Big O battery, starting at $39.95.
A reminder that Joe and I will be picking our golf MVPs today, one from each team, and Golf and his dealers will make the general scholarship fund of each school $500 richer. Our golf MVPs coming up at the conclusion of the game. There's Kenny Walker, who has scored all the Kentucky points in the second half. He has 12 in the second half, and Kentucky is within 5. They've had success when they've gone to Walker, and when someone else has shot, they've just not been able to hit. What are they hitting for the second half?
Both teams really are under 40% for the game. Kentucky 39%, Florida 36%. That's for the entire game. So neither team is just wearing it out.
McKinley can shoot. Couldn't get the roll. Bennett waited in to get the rebound, and a foul is going to be called on Winston Bennett of Kentucky. Moulton west of the floor. Joe Hall has seen Winston Bennett pick up his 3rd foul.
Foul is on Bennett, his 3rd, team's 3rd.
Bennett bowling over Moulton and becoming the first Wildcat with 3 personals. That's the 3rd team foul against Kentucky this half. Florida's already committed 6.
Different zone, as I mentioned, by Kentucky. And it's set up to shut down that perimeter shooting. Let's see how we mentioned for 2 straight trips, it works very well.
Kentucky employed this defense to make a second-half comeback to beat Mississippi State here on Wednesday. That's Danny Sheldon hitting from outside. He has 4 points in the game, and the lead back to 7 for the Gators.
Danny Sheldon has played a tremendous game here.
Walker, high post over McDowell. McDowell got a hand in his face, caused Kenny to miss, and then McDowell went in to get the rebound. Here's Sheldon again. 2 in a row, Danny Sheldon.
He feels the rhythm, and you could tell it. He wants to put it up. Kenny Walker, 6 of 9 from the field, and Kentucky wants to talk about it.
The Gators have just equaled their longest lead. Florida back out to a 9-point advantage, and Kentucky calling for its second time out of the game. 9:39 left to play in Rupp Arena. Timeout with the score, Florida 44, Kentucky 35.
The Red Man reaction. Satisfaction.
Purnell here. My brother and I make Purnell's Old Folks Country Sausage in Simpsonville, Kentucky. Now, there's a lot of country sausage, and there's a lot of differences. And I'd like to tell you what the difference is. We use the ham, shoulders, loins, and bacon, seasoning it with pure natural spices, no water added either. Only then do we put our name on it, and if we put our name on it, you know we made it. So taste the difference in Purnell's Old Folks Country Sausage, because it's good. Here's a reminder of our upcoming games on the Lorimar Sports Network. Thursday night at 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central, will be in Auburn, Alabama, as the Auburn Tigers host the Rebels of Ole Miss. Then a week from this afternoon, 4 o'clock Eastern, 3 o'clock Central, will be in Gainesville as the Florida Gators entertain the Alabama Crimson Tide. Florida Gators bidding for their first ever win in Rupp Arena here this afternoon. They've won only twice in their history in Lexington, but never at Rupp. And a win today would also give them a share of first place in the Southeastern Conference standings.
Tom, you'd ask about Kentucky shooting the second half. They're 4 of 16, just 25%.
And, of course, the only player to hit has been Kenny Walker. Here's Walker on low, and that's what he does when he gets the ball in that position. Jump hook for Walker. He has 18 in the game, 37 for Kentucky, but they trail by 7. They have Paul Andrews in the game. He wears 14 in white. 6'2", a sophomore from London, Kentucky, averaging 2 a game and a starter early in the season. Eugene McDowell got it on the low post, and he had a little turnaround jumper.
Both played straight out. Each team got the ball low in the paint, and they had easy turnaround baskets. Florida leads in rebounding the second half, 14-10.
Kentucky working around the perimeter of the Florida zone, trying to get it to Walker, who scored all their points in the second half. 3 players around him. They lob it to him anyway, and he's fouled. Well, I don't think there's any question, Joe, that among all the great talented forwards, Wayne Tisdale, Keith Lee, all of them in college basketball, Kenny Walker playing better than any of them right now.
I'll take Kenny Walker, no question about it. He went up and got the lob. He's going to come down, come back up, and try to go to the glass with it. And look at the defense. Look at that defense. There's 4 of them that have completely surrounded him. Of course, Kentucky's in the bonus.
Kenny Walker will put up and miss the free throw. That's his first miss after he had hit his first 4. So again, it's a 9-point Florida lead.
Let's go. Good off the crew. Come on, roll it. Let's go, big crew. Come on. Go defense. Go, Cap. Go,
Outside shot is no good off the hand of Maxwell. Taken by Bennett. He tried to get it to Andrews. A bad pass and taken by Randall Leaf as it bounced off of Kentucky players.
Come on. Go defense.
Maxwell has been hitting from the perimeter. along with Moulton right there, they would have really had a big lead because Moulton has had the good outside shooting game. Maxwell has not, but they're really killing that zone defense, particularly when Moulton can get that basketball.
That's the longest lead of the game, an 11-point margin for the Gators. Andrew Moulton leading the way. That was his 17th point. Troy McKinley, the first Wildcat other than Kenny Walker to score here in the second half. He's come in to get 10, shooting up those outside shots over the zone. Kentucky back now within 9. 7 minutes, 21 seconds to play from Rupp Arena. At stake is share of first place in the Southeastern Conference. The Wildcats are there all alone at the moment, trying to stay there. And a win would give Florida a share of the lead and cause a real logjam at the top in the SEC standings.
Florida very patient night right now. They want to work some time off that clock every trip down.
Moulton can't hit, but tapped in by Leaf.
What a game he's had on the offensive board. We keep saying it, but he has really kept them alive. Watch this tip. He just slides by right there. Nobody blocked him off. Kentucky zoning, and he tipped it in.
Paul Andrews can't hit for Kentucky. Tapped by Bennett, no good. Taken on the run by Moulton. Moulton to Maxwell. Lost the handle, but right to Sheldon. Can't score. McKinley claims the rebound for Kentucky. Blackman has it for the Wildcats in front court. They need to get something going. Less than 6.5 minutes to play. Kentucky down by 11. There's James Blackman hitting his first basket of the game.
Kentucky's had very little point production out of that back court.
That's only the 4th point from the Kentucky guards in this game. Florida will take a timeout. Vernon Maxwell whistles. Asked the referee, Dale Kelly, to whistle for the timeout, as Coach Norm Sloan is going to set his strategy for the final 6 minutes and 7 seconds of this SEC game. And his Gators leading it by 9. Timeout, Florida 50, Kentucky 41.
First place and the blue ribbon to number 9, Thunder.
We did it!
The Red Man reaction. Satisfaction.
Well, did you two survive without me?
Sure, no problem.
But did you eat well?
We had spaghetti and chicken and fish.
We're America's dinner table.
And we kept the kitchen spotless.
When you get together for a family meal, come to Shoney's. We serve all your favorites, and it's all good.
So you didn't miss me? Sure they did. They've been my best customers all week.
Shoney's, America's dinner table. Financial energy.
In 1961, Mrs. Huberta Homrich opened a savings account at First National Bank. Her children started banking with us in the late 1960s, and their children began banking with us in the 1970s. Today, First National supplies the financial energy for 18 members of the Homrich family. We'd like to be your family's bank, too.
Financial energy.
The financial energy of First National Bank. Put it to work for you.
Accommodations for the Lorimar Sports Network furnished by the beautiful Radisson Plaza Hotel in Lexington, proud supporters of the University of Kentucky. When in Lexington, stay at the Radisson Plaza, which incidentally is connected to Rupp Arena by walkways. You can walk from the hotel right to the arena, never go outside in the cold and snow, and it is a beautiful place.
That's the Webb brothers, right,
Right.
Tom?
Don and Dudley Webb.
Don and Dudley Webb, and they are big Kentucky fans, but they're big sports fans. They see them at every game, and they took care of our troops here because they understand that they put a couple of them in nice suites. So they're living, they're living the good life.
One of the reasons they built that Radisson Plaza Hotel was to help attract the NCAA Final Four. And, of course, Lexington and Rupp Arena, the site of the Final Four, the NCAA championship this year.
The Florida Guards have scored 29 points, led by Moulton, 17.
Down low to McDowell. Kicks it back outside to Maxwell. Can't get anything, so they bring it around the horn again. McDowell again posting up low. Maxwell dribbles around to the side and hits a little shot. Didn't look like a very good shot, but he got it to fall.
And he got just enough penetration all the way to the baseline. They didn't pick him up real good. Nobody really shut down the movement of the ball, and he was able to get the real good little 8-footer. He hadn't had the good shooting game, but that was a big basket for the Florida Gators.
Kentucky with Blackman, Madison, Walker, Barrett, and Andrews in the game at the moment. Florida has Maxwell, Moulton, Leaf, McDowell, and Sheldon. Inside, Walker got away from one man, laid it in, but it will not count. He was fouled before he got his shot up.
I was just getting ready to say that Florida zone just gets tighter and tighter and tighter as that clock ticks relentlessly onward in favor of the Florida Gators, and it's all for one reason, to shut down a guy who's at the foul line right now, and it's amazing that they can still get it to him, Tom.
Walker at the free throw line has now missed 2 in a row after hitting his first 4, and of course, those are both the front end of a 1+1.
Did it in the first half. He missed 2 straight front end of 1-and-1s, and Kenny Walker has missed 2 here in the second half, and that hurts.
Less than 5 minutes to play. Florida leads 52-41. Sheldon faked, instead gave it to McDowell. Knocked out of Moten's hand by Blackman, but Blackman touched it last.
Shot clock has 12 seconds.
4:39 on the game clock. Andrew Moten. Shot clock down to 7 seconds. Leaf. Randall Leaf, he's not known as a shooter from that range. He does hit a high percentage, but mostly inside. He has 10 this afternoon. Shot that one in right over Richard Madison, and it's a 54-41, 13-point Florida lead. The Gators' biggest advantage of the day. Paul Andrews chipped 2 off that lead. Andrews with his first basket of the afternoon. Kentucky's got to pick up the tempo. They're playing man-to-man, but they got to really get after him. They can't afford to let Florida continue to stall it away. Andrews commits the foul.
There you saw the great quickness of Vernon Maxwell. He faked middle, drove baseline, a little shake and bake, as they say. He was a Florida Mr. Basketball, and he really exploded to the basket. Gators still not shooting 1 in the bonus yet.
Only the 4th foul on Kentucky. You saw Madison come out and Davender into the game to replace him. Lob it for McDowell. Wasn't there for the jam, so he brought it back outside. Smart move by McDowell.
Getting ready to say the same thing. I like that for the big guy. He plays within his limitations. Doesn't try to do things that he can't do. That's why he's so tough.
Florida again content to let that clock tick away. And Kentucky needs to get something going here. 3:42 to play. And Kentucky trailing by 11.
Gators just playing keep away. They're just going to work that clock every trip down.
Joe, Kentucky can't afford to let them have 45 seconds each possession. They'll lose the game without even getting close.
They got to go out and really get after them with all kind of pressure.
Moten off the glass. Oh, a beautiful shot by Andrew Moten. It came as the shot clock was ticking down, and Norm Sloan's strategy that time worked to perfection thanks to Andrew Moten.
You can see a good shot there of that orange-clad Florida zone defense. They'll give you that shot.
Davender hits it. Ed Davender cracks the scoring column for the first time. Kentucky back within 11 and even 3 minutes left. You got to get after them, don't you, Joe, and risk the foul.
They really do. They got to gamble, take some chances, double team. They can commit 2 more fouls before they really even put Florida at the line. That's just the 5th one.
For Florida, number 10.
That one more they can wait, but they need to trap, double team, gamble, go for steals. Moten a little bit tired, and that's why Coach Norm Sloan took him out.
Moten goes out, and who came in? Sheldon come in to replace him? No, it was Montgomery. Ronnie Montgomery. And Kentucky takes Andrews out and gets Roger Harden in the game. Kenny Walker commits his 3rd foul. Sheldon had the ball. Walker fouled him. You remember, one of the key factors in this game was that Kenny Walker picked up 2 quick fouls and left the game after only 3 minutes had been played and sat out much of the first half when Kentucky really dug a hole for itself. It's gotten worse here in the second half.
That's when Florida took that lead that they've never given up.
Kentucky was within 1 point this half, but the Gators have built it back out to as many as 13, and right now are up by 11. Less than 2.5 minutes to play. Gators just stalling away. Kentucky's got a foul. They got to gamble, go after it.
They're not doing it.
20 seconds still on the shot clock. They can take it less than 2 minutes. Here's a foul by Harden.
We mentioned that it was snowing outside and that the interest in the great following of this Kentucky program, 23,325 is the exact attendance. And here's Norm Sloan, who 141 wins since he came back to Florida, over 500 wins in his career, 6 winningest active coach in America, most wins of SEC coaches. And we've both said it all about both these coaches, Tom. Both have had great careers.
And both having one of their best years this year. In fact, who would have predicted that Kentucky and Florida would be playing today for first place in the SEC? Davender. Barrett, out position, went up to get it, takes it back to the hoop, can't score. Walker, no good. Tapped by McDowell, picked up by Sheldon. Less than 2 minutes to play. Florida with the ball up 11. Montgomery turns it over.
They think that he could be their best point guard, Ronnie Montgomery, but he's just a freshman. Felt the pressure. They're taking him out, and they're going to go with the experience. Andrew Moten's back in.
Moten back into the game with 1:53 left. 56-45. Florida on the verge of taking its first win in history in Rupp Arena. Here's a foul on Florida. They continue to surround Walker every time Kenny gets the basketball. Walker came into the game with 957 points in his career and has pitched in 18 so far today. 31 players have scored over 1,000 points for Kentucky. Walker hit his first 4 free throws, missed 2 in a row. Now he's got it back on track.
They need a couple of big breaks, Kentucky, if they have any chance. We're under 2 minutes. You keep talking about pressure, Tom. They need to pick up right here, full court, maybe get a steal, really get after it.
56-47, Kentucky within 9, 1:45 left. Moten threading his way through traffic beautifully in the front court for the Gators. 3 players around him trying to get the basketball, and Moten just dribbles through them until he's fouled.
He kept the ball low. He didn't let it bounce very high, and that's the way you got to bounce it in classic. Harden was chasing him. They tried to trap him. Look at it here. Reverse dribble. Look how low he's keeping the ball. He's keeping his body down over it when people come at him. He's shooting 72.7% on the line.
That foul was on Roger Harden, his third, as Moten connects at the free throw line. He is 2 of 3 this afternoon. Moten, SEC Freshman of the Year last year, and coming back with a great sophomore season thus far. He was MVP in 3 of our TV games last year. 58-47. Moten hits 2 at the line. Knocked away and taken by McDowell. He leaves it for Moten, and the Gators in command now with 1.5 minutes to play. They're up by 11 points.
Notice McDowell got that rebound. He just kicked it out immediately to the guard. He didn't try to dribble it, did what he can do best. Moten fouled again.
Roger Harden commits his 4th foul. With 1:22 showing on the clock, and Joe Hall with a word there for Roger Harden.
Kentucky has no choice. They've got to go for the ball. They've got to take a chance that they'll get a steal, and if they don't, they've got to put the Gators at the line and hope they'll miss the front end of 1-and-1.
Moten does not miss, however. He has now hit 4 in a row after missing his first. The Gators will leave here and go to Baton Rouge, so they've got 2 tough games in a row. They play the LSU Tigers next, but what appears to will be a win in Lexington should give them some momentum. Also will have a share of first place. Lob to Walker. Walker shoots over McDowell. Won't go. Trapped for the rebound. Bennett taps it to Harden. He goes to Walker. Stopped by Walker right over Randall Lee. Kenny Walker with another amazing move right over the defensive man. That time just over top of it. Here's a foul as again as Kentucky tries to get the basketball away with 1:01 to play.
Kentucky did a good job. They had him against the sideline. It's a good spot to trap. They did trap him, but they reached in and hacked him across the arms, and Moten's going to shoot 1-and-1. Let's look at that. There's the pass from Harden into Kenny Skywalker, and look at him. And he's away. He jammed it. He was like 3 or 4 feet away from that basket when he stuck it back in. What a stuff.
Here's Andrew Moten ready to shoot 1+1 at the line. He's been there quite often lately. He's the man that Norm Cohn wants to handle the basketball in this situation because he is a good free throw shooter. 61-49 now. That's Moten's point total for the day. And put 1 more on that point total after he missed that first free throw. He hadn't missed since. 1 minute to play, and Kentucky down 62-49. Harden from outside, no good. Moten all alone for the rebound. Ball's down, kept his dribble going for a minute, then lost it. Picked up by Walker. He goes in, pulls up for the jump shot, good.
I love that. He pulled up the stop. He saw he didn't have it. He would have charged, put it on the glass for 2. That's why he's an All-American.
And the referee stopped play, and they're mop up the floor. I don't know, Wally Tanner and Dale Kelly are discussing something there. You see them standing on the Kentucky free throw line. I don't know if they just needed to mop up the floor or Winston Bennett and Andrew Moten were having words. And perhaps they just wanted to cool things down a little bit. 62-51 the score. Florida in command with 44 seconds left. A little frustration showing with Kentucky here. Comes inbounds to Maxwell. Brings it up against Davender. Gets a step on him. Davender fouls him. Maxwell will go to the free throw line. Vernon Maxwell, one of a couple of Gainesville, Florida natives on this team. Homegrown product. Maxwell will go to the free throw line. He's Florida's Mr. Basketball as a high school senior last season. He averaged 31 points, 9 rebounds, 3 steals, 3 assists, hit 56% from the field last year. That's all the time remaining as Maxwell cans the free throw. He has 9 points this afternoon. First team All-Stater, of course, was Maxwell, co-most valuable player in Florida. Led all scorers on a Florida team that won the second consecutive National Junior AAU tournament for the state. Here comes Maxwell again. He'll take it in all alone and jam. Vernon Maxwell with a steal and a basket on the other end. Here's Walker for Kentucky. No good. Moten with a rebound and a foul quickly on Kentucky. As they're just playing out the string now with 22 seconds left, and Florida enjoying its longest lead at 15. Well, we said that Florida had never won a game at Rupp Arena, but they're doing it in fine fashion today. They're doing it with flair as they're up by 15 over the favored Kentucky Wildcats at the moment.
This young man here has put on quite a show. Excellent outside shooting, shooting foul shots, making them.
Did 8 in a row, Joe.
8 in a row. Handling the ball against traffic, handling it well. And you can see why he was the freshman of the Eugenics team. You did it to him.
Well, Florida has won only 3 games ever in Lexington and never in Rupp Arena. Winston Bennett off the offensive glass gets his 9th point of the game. Only 7 seconds left. Moten's shot is blocked, picked up by Walker. 3-2. Walker will put it up, and it goes. It'll count, but it's too little, too late for the Wildcats as Florida wins for the first time ever in Rupp Arena, beating the Kentucky Wildcats 67-55 and gaining a share of first place in the Southeastern Conference. Florida now 4-2 in the league as Kentucky also falls to 4-2. Well, let's take a look now at this afternoon's winners of our Gulf Oil Most Valuable Player Award. For the winning Gators of Florida, it's Andrew Moten. Here's Moten driving for the basket and connecting on one of many shots he made today, both from the field and the free throw line. Andrew Moten of Florida is our Gulf MVP for the Gators. He pitched in this afternoon. Let me add it up for you. 18, 20, 22, 24, 26 points. 26 points for Andrew Moten, leading the Gators to victory this afternoon. Now for the Kentucky Wildcats, of course, no question here. Our MVP is going to be Kenny Walker, the Wildcats All-American. Walker with 26 points for the Wildcats. And, of course, 22 of those came in the second half as he sat out much of the first half in foul trouble, wound up with 26 points and 6 rebounds on the afternoon. Andrew Moten of Florida and Kenny Walker of Kentucky are Gulf MVPs for the game. And as part of the Gulf Oil Most Valuable Player Award Scholarship Program, Gulf will donate $500 to the General Scholarship Fund of both Florida and Kentucky. Final score, Florida beats Kentucky 67-55, winning for the first time in Rupp Arena. We'll be back to Rupp for some final comments in just a moment.
Gonna party like before. Gonna go across the floor.
Well, turn it loose with the silver bullet. Find it, grab it, pull it. Rock and roll with a cold, cool line.
Heavy the weight is mine.
Silver bullet won't slow you down. Well, turn it loose with the silver bullet tonight.
Coors Light Beer. The essence of hitting. George Brett.
Some guys say it's the rhythm, reading the pitch. For me, it's a feeling that says, I'm going downtown.
The essence of shaving.
This is Atra by Gillette. It pivots so the twin blades stay on your beard longer. But what answer is all about is the feeling that says you just got Gillette's best shave.
Gillette, the essence of shaving.
When our community speaks, WAVE TV's Don Schroeder listens.
And I'd really like to ask all news media to be very sensitive to surviving parents and families.
I don't ever want to be the person to tell the family sitting in their living room watching the news that they've lost somebody. It just shouldn't happen. And if it does happen, it's a blatant error by somebody.
At WAVE TV, your news is our business.
In New York City, there are more opinions per square mile than anywhere on Earth. Some opinions are angry, some offbeat, and some are just plain interesting. To one person in America, opinions mean everything, which is why every weekday, he's now coming to you from New York. Donahue.
He's terrific, if you want my opinion.
Weekdays at 9 on WAVE TV3.
It was an historic win for the Florida Gators, their first ever in Rupp Arena. It also gives them a share of first place in the Southeastern Conference as they whip the Kentucky Wildcats 67-55. Right now, courtside, Joe Dean has our MVP, Andrew Moulton, and winning coach Norm Sloan of Florida.
Tom, thank you. Norm, you're really in the hunt. You told me in the hotel as we were coming over, you thought you could take them. You were concerned about the matchups, but you played well, and you did the things you had to do when it was necessary.
Well, I tell you, Joe, what happened, our basketball team just went out and did a heck of a job. Andrew and Gene and all that. And we had some mismatches on some size in there, but we were able to get into a zone and cover that up for most of the ball game. But the thing I'm happy about is that our guys had a lot of poise and had a lot of control and did smart things on offense. And I just thought we played a very smart basketball game.
Don't leave me, because I want to come back to you, but I want to talk to this young man, Andrew Moulton, Norm, who is our Gulf MVP. You had the good game, but you knew that you were playing well. And you could feel you had rhythm and things were going well for you. You wanted to shoot the ball, didn't you?
Well, yes, I knew when I had the open jumper, I was going to take it. I was trying to work the ball around so I could get the open jumper right at the top of the key. And basically, I could say I just wanted the ball.
And you handled it in traffic well, and you handled it with confidence, and it didn't worry you. You knew you could take care of it.
Well, yes, I knew I wanted to handle it in traffic so I could go to the line. I knew I was going to hit the free throws. I just, I wanted to win here in Rupp. Last year we came close to winning it, but this year we got it, and I'm just glad that we had it.
Andrew, the earlier game I saw you kicked the ball inside a great deal to the big guy, Eugene McDowell, and then he would kick it back outside for the easy jumper. Tonight you went more to a three-man game. You opened up the middle, and it was more effective. You didn't go to him quite as much tonight.
Well, yes, because Coach Sloan told us we had a pretty tough practice the day after the loss against Georgia, and Coach Sloan basically telling us when we get it in the gym, there was good things happening sometimes. Then basically, everybody on the other team would drop in and just distract things. Well, so we went to a 3 offense out front, and, the guards just moved the ball around till we get the open Jimmy.
Well, you played a beautiful game. Congratulations. You were our Gulf MVP. Go get your shower. Good luck in Baton Rouge.
All right, thanks.
Thank you, Andrew. Andrew Moulton, Norm, he put on a show. I liked what he said. He wanted the ball. He knew he could do it.
Coach Tao was sitting there beside me early in the ball game, and I think guys who are just more recently come from playing can pick up on that. And he said after about 3 minutes, he said, get it to Andrew as much as you can. He said he wants it, and he isn't going to miss.
Norm, I know you've had a lot of great thrills in your life. A guy said to me a while ago, this must be Coach Sloan's biggest thrill. And I said, no, he won a national championship, but it is a big thrill to come in here and win.
It is a big thrill, Joe. I don't mean to be demeaning towards Kentucky and Rupp Arena when I say this, but it ain't even close to being one of the biggest thrills I've had in this game. I've coached too many games. I have great respect for Joe Hall. Always have had. He does a super job. This is a pressure situation here when you have this many people making it happening every time you have a home game. You got pressure on you, and I just think he handles it in a great manner. He's a gentleman, and he was a gentleman after the game. I am very proud. I don't mean to say that this isn't a big win. I'm very proud. I'm proud for the Florida program. You see, we got to get out from underneath that sunshine and orange business, and everybody kind of laughing at us and thinking we're a bunch of candies, just down there having fun. We got some hard-nosed guys that can play, too, and got a lot of young guys. So I'm real happy for our program, Joe. I think today was a big step forward for us. But, boy, are there a lot of tough ones left.
I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Randall Leaf.
Thank you. I wanted to mention that. Randall Leaf, I think, might have played the game of his career at the University of Florida, but he's been getting better every game. This guy, when we used him in the past years, when we had to use him, like when Ronnie was hurt or out or something, he had a good job for us. He's a guy who just was not very good at taking a job away from somebody else, but boy, you let him play and get some playing time. He's got some tools, and he's getting better.
This league has a lot of parity, and you saw it today. The Gators of Florida came into Rupp Arena, and they did it to Joe Hall's Kentucky Wildcats, and we got a logjam at the top with 5 teams. Tom, back to you.
All right, Joe Dean. Kentucky pulled within 1 behind Kenny Walker in the second half, but the Gators get it going. Andrew Moten had 26 points and 7 assists, and Florida wins it going away 67-55 over Kentucky. We'll be back for some final comments from Rupp Arena right after these messages.